Has anyone run across people who has crazy eyes? So like they'll come talk to you or something, or there's someone that like wants to date you and you're like, oh gosh, they had the crazy eyes. And you know what crazy eyes are. You got to back away from people with crazy eyes. You can't be nice and just be like, oh, well, maybe it was just that one time they had crazy eyes. Well, you can do that. You can give them one time, because I get crazy eyes sometimes and I don't feel like I'm a crazy person. I don't know. You'd have to ask my exes. But I think some of my exes would vouch for me. Yeah, I think they'd vouch and they'd be like, she's not crazy. Just don't catch her on a strange tequila night. Anyways, hopefully, if you are from Texas or love country, you got that one. If not, do not say you are from Texas or that you love country music. Either way, right? Anyways, I'm completely off subject. My podcast, welcome to It's Not Just Coffee. Um, Basically, I am starting this because, well, rewind to probably about like 6 years ago. Gosh, has it been 6 years? Wow. Man, where does time go? I think it's been 6 years. No, not 6 years. I'm probably going to say four. Let's say 4 years. Um, I had this grand idea. I wanted to start a coffee shop, right? You're probably like, oh wow, that's really cool. Was she like a barista? Did she always make coffee? Nope, nope, nope. I've never worked in a coffee shop. I've never really made coffee in a technical sense. Um, my way of making coffee, and I do this with my cooking too, is I eye it. So my mom's a really good cook. My sister, she can make coffee decent. She measures out, right? I always said, because my mom was such a good cook, that I feel like if you have good cooks in your family, um, it gets passed down in your genes. And you're just like, I'm probably a good cook naturally too. So I just throw things together. So that's what I do with my coffee. I eye it. I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks like, I'll get a spoon and put in, okay, four scoops. You can always add more water, or people can add creamer. I don't know. It's just whatever people want to do. But anyways, so yeah, so randomly I just wanted to start a coffee shop. Not Just Coffee is the name that I want to name it. um, I told myself I'd get a part-time job or something like that, learning how to make coffee. So, when I opened the coffee shop, I would know how to make coffee, because I wouldn't be able to afford to hire people. Just have to be me for a while. Um, and then I was like, you know what? I want it to be a place where it's not just coffee, though, because I love clothes. And I love finding cool clothes. I love finding vintage, little items here and there, just really cool, unique things. Um, I'm not really someone who compliments myself on a lot of things, but I do think I have pretty good style. I think I have a pretty good eye for clothes, and it's a huge passion of mine. And so I feel like people would buy that. They'd probably buy the clothes I put in the coffee shop more than my coffee, but I think I'd get better at the coffee too. Anyway, so I decided, you know what? Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna have a coffee shop, and then I'm gonna have like clothes, like vintage finds and stuff like that on the side for people. And something that's completely unpopular with probably lots of people is that I did not want to have Wi-Fi in my coffee shop. Instead, I wanted to have a record player and vinyls, and that way people could put on different vinyls. You could also bring your own vinyls if you wanted to, torture people with your music. But it was a place like taking it back to old school, where there wasn't Wi-Fi. You couldn't just set up with your laptop. It's actually a place where you went, you had coffee, you had people's like old, records playing, and you got to talk and interact with people and like look at some vintage clothes and just hang out. Um, and that was the idea I had, right? But then I really enjoy traveling. Um, And I was like, well, if I do a coffee shop, I'm going to be stuck in one spot. I'm going to be stuck at the coffee shop, which is great. No problem. But I don't want to start making it as if it's a burden, as if I have to go in and always be there, nonstop. And I love traveling. I love seeing the world. People are so cool and interesting, and you get to meet everyone. And so I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I need to table this idea. And then I was like, you know what? I don't know. Something's eating at me. Like, I need to do something. And I kind of tabled it, and then I met this really cool person. He's actually going to be one of my guests because I probably threatened him and scared him. But you'll meet him later on in one of the episodes. Really cool photographer. He actually, I guess, kind of made me start believing in myself more than I thought. And I kind of played around. Hey, it's okay. My dog just had a little nightmare. Did y'all hear him? Poor little guy. He like howled. Gibbies, come here. Come here. I think he scared himself. He had a bad dream. Okay. Maybe he'll make an appearance on the next one. But anyway, so it got me into thinking like, oh, I love clothes. Maybe I'll like get clothes, do like an Instagram or something with like clothes and put them on, and do like resell clothes. Yes, I thought about that, like vintage finds again when reselling clothes. And I was gonna do that. I was gonna name it, well, not going to name it because I did start an Instagram for it called Love Me Two-Time Girl. If anyone knows the Doors, that is a nod to the Doors and Jim Morrison. Wanted to do that because it was loving your clothes 2 times. Sending it to other people to get some more love. And then, you know what? Customer service is a bitch. I love customer service. I've been in the people field my whole life. I really have. But people do not want to pay for stuff. They always want a deal. I feel like they, you're always looking for a deal. And you can get clothes for so cheap. With Forever 21 or, oh gosh, just like any little place, Shein. I mean, please, like anywhere you go. So things that are really cool finds, or just even quality clothing that's made in the US instead of Indonesia, China, Malaysia, any of those places, they're going to cost more because they're in the US, but people don't want to pay even the resale price of that. So I was like, well, screw that. Not gonna do that. But then it just randomly popped into my head one day. Podcast. Let me do a podcast. What? I don't know. That seems kind of cool. I don't know what it was. So I decided to do a podcast, and well, actually, I thought about for a long time. And I don't know if you guys have had any like embarrassing ideas where you're like, everyone is gonna laugh at me. I better not even say this. This is such a stupid idea. And then you like secretly keep thinking about it. I think the best place to talk to yourself about ideas a lot of times is like, gosh, the 2 places I feel the most secure about talking to myself is in my car and like in the bathroom, in the shower, But yeah, so I was like, oh, well, what about podcasts? What about podcasts? I don't know. It's like, well, yeah, for me and only me. It's like a little journal or something, right? And I don't know, it just kept growing and it just kept growing. And then I said it out loud. I think I just like blurted it out loud. It's like, I think it was my sister was the first person I told. I'm not quite sure. I believe it was her. I think I want to start a podcast. It was probably random out of the blue too. You know, when you're really scared about stuff and so you just like blurt it out. No rhyme or reason. Just like, well, shit. Ooh, I feel like I have some courage right now. I want to do a podcast. I think I want to do. Oh, okay. And then a second time, I said that outside of a family member. Sometimes family members are the hardest people to share your thoughts and your ideas with because they know you so well. It's really interesting because family knows you so well because they know all your like patterns and your behaviors, right? But at the same time, even though they know you so well, they don't, because they aren't giving you that room for growth. You know, they aren't giving you that margin. That's it. You know, that margin. Or they're like, well, they've always been like this. Like, how are they going to do that? Like, shoot. My family has seen me go through so many different ideas. Shoot. I've been in horseback riding, gymnastics, ballet, guitar, piano, every single thing. Like, I love stuff. I love learning about stuff. I love being obsessed with it, going into passion, all those amazing things, you know? So it was really hard, but I told that to my sister. Oh, podcast. Oh, you know, my coffee idea and my boutique. And I got lots of ideas I don't follow through with. And then next person I told outside of my family, because it was just my sister, I told my friend Ben. Yep. I said, I'm gonna start a podcast. Okay. I told him other things too before that I was gonna do. But this one felt a little different. You know, sometimes things feel a little different. You don't say it as flippant. You aren't just like, I'm gonna start a podcast. Instead, it's like, oh, you get that feeling inside, like your chest tightens up, your heart beats a little fast. I guess this is another panic attack. Maybe, or it may just be this is a really cool idea that you're too scared to share. Because you're too scared, if you say it out loud, that you won't follow through with it, and it's another thing. I ripped the Band-Aid off, so I'm gonna do a podcast. Oh, okay. And then I felt like I started was really nervous too, but I told a few more people, hey, I'm gonna do a podcast. You're really cool. Will you be on my podcast? Oh, okay, sure, yeah. And it just kept going. And then finally, my sister and Ben, they're great. When are you gonna do this podcast? Oh, I gotta get equipment. You know, always farting about, right? Oh, I gotta do the research. Okay. A few weeks go by. A month. What are you doing? I'm still doing my research. There's just so much out there, you know, so much equipment. So, yeah, one day I got a text from my friend. That little sucker went through and he had it down with the links on it too, YouTube links for me to watch, different types of mics, every kind of equipment that I needed, he already had it listed. Well, shit. There goes my research. My sister. A few weeks went by because I told him, I still have to look at all these links you sent me. It's a lot. Even though I don't have to do any research myself. Right? So he's like, okay, well, let me know when you look at that stuff. And my sister, a few weeks later, hey, I was listening to one of my podcasts. They told me about this mic. The mic I have here now. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's a really good mic. Heard they're great. Amazon Prime's coming. Ah, shit. Ben, my friend. Have you looked at this stuff? Yeah, I have. I'm gonna wait for Amazon Prime. See if anything goes on sale. I'll get it. Oh, when's that? Amazon Prime, July 12th. Well, crap. I just locked myself into a deadline. Anyways, long story short. Well, not long story short, because this has been a pretty long story and it's not gonna get short. I pulled the trigger. I put my stuff in my Amazon Prime cart and I said deliver. And it delivered it to me. And I am here today with you guys right now with not just coffee, with Reese. And that is kind of how this all has come about. So that is about 17 minutes on how I got this podcast name. Obviously, I'm not a very short-winded person. So I don't think that talking will be an issue. I think not talking is going to be an issue. Yeah. Now, for people who are watching this, which is probably my dog, and actually he doesn't watch anything, he's probably just like snoring. But if by any off chance, someone sees this and sees me in real life, and they're like, oh, hey, I just want you to know, I am not this talkative at all in real life. I'm actually like an introvert kind of thing. Some people also think I have resting bitch face. Well, not think. I do know I have resting bitch face. God just did not give me a face that when it's resting, it looks happy. It looks like it's resting. It looks like I just went through a mile run and it's exhausted and it's resting. So, if you see me, always please come say hi. Do not be shocked that all of a sudden my resting bitch face goes into a smile. And it's a happy smile and you're like, oh shit, she just got some crazy eyes too. Because I do. I go from resting bitch face to smile in no time. Anyways, so please come say hi to me, but I definitely am an introvert. When I have no one to talk to besides my mic, then I don't know, it's a lot easier to talk. I think that comes from, you know, my childhood trauma. Anyways, so just want to say welcome to It's Not Just Coffee and let's get started. Okay, so I told you a little bit about the name, or not a little bit, but all of how the name got started. And I'm glad that you're still here listening to me. If you are, that's amazing. But so that's the name of Not Just Coffee, but what's going to actually be on the podcast? It is going to be, I love coffee. I love talking to people, learning their passions. I think people are so interesting. Oh my gosh, and the passions that all these beautiful human beings have, it is crazy and exciting. So many times I've met people and I'm like, man, they're so interesting. Man, that's so cool. And walk away like, I gotta be cool. Like, how do people have these amazing passions? I've never understood it. Never made sense to me. I've always thought that people were really cool, you know? Everyone always mesmerizes me. And so I thought about, well, what do I love to do? I love to listen to people's passions. I love seeing the excitement in their eyes, hearing it in their voice, seeing their journey of how they got there. How did they stumble on their passion, right? What's really cool, of course, when people make a living out of their passion, that's amazing. It's really amazing to see. And then you have people that you see that you're going to get in episodes, and I call them my undercover episodes, because they're regular people that have normal jobs as an accountant, as a salesperson, as a IT person, you know, anything like that. And then you kind of peel back that little layer and you see that there's like the whole different thing. You know, it's like when you go into a library and you go through the door and it's a bar, which are pretty popular places, right? But anyways, so yeah. So you're going to get those undercover stories, which I'm really excited to share because I think those are cool for sure. And then, of course, stories about people who found something that they loved and they're like, you know, I want to do this every single day. I want to make a living doing this. I want to feed myself with this activity. So I'm going to be talking to them as well. You know, what makes them successful, how they got to where they are, how do they start their day? Is it with coffee? Is it with an energy drink? You know, what do they do? What's their favorite thing about what they do? I don't know. Just get all nosy and up in their business. Love doing that. Love asking questions. Love hearing all about it. And I hope you do too. And of course, I'll always take any comments that you guys have or questions you have. Just put them in the comments right there for me. I would love that. Thank you. Also, a follow would be awesome. Or subscribe. You can do that a little later. Kind of probably up here somewhere. But you'll see that. But yeah. So along this journey, you know, I'm going to have some vegan chefs, some whiskey experts, some individuals that have passion for photography, have passion for starting their own business. I mean, gosh, you talk about something scary. Having to start your own business, whew, that takes balls. It really does. It's so awesome. So I am so glad that you guys bared through this first very painful episode with me. Thank you. And welcome to It's Not Just Coffee. Enjoy the journey with me because it's gonna be a pretty good journey, I feel. Maybe not, but you know what? It's gonna be my journey. And if I'm the only one and this little thing has one view and it's a view from me, then that's okay. Because you know what? Our job is to do, or not our job, but our goal in life is to live it with passion, right? Our goal in life is to do things that we love to do, waking up and doing what we want to do. What gets you closer to what you want to do? Right now, this is what I want to do. Maybe it's because I'm an introvert. Maybe it's because I really don't want to deal with people. And so I'm like, oh, I can talk into a mic in a room by myself. And this is really cool. And it's like I'm getting human interaction, but I'm not. It seems like I'm being an extrovert, but I'm not, because it's a mic and a camera. But you know what? When I go to bed and I wake back up, I think about that. I think about the next episode. I think about when I meet people. Oh, can you be on my podcast? I'm probably that creepy person. Oh, hey, I have a podcast. Come back with me. I'll give you some candy. Right? But yeah, so even when I travel, I think it'll be cool because if I run into someone, of course I'm going to have my podcast equipment with me. I'm like, got an hour? Can I hit you up for a podcast? So if you see me out and about and you get hit up by a random girl saying I have a podcast, not just coffee, with Reese, can I talk to you for an hour? Steal your time. I am not that creepy uncle who gives all those strangers candy. I don't even know if that's a real thing. It just sounded like it went well. But yeah, that is not me, or I hope it's not going to be me. We'll see what happens. I will entice you with some free coffee, maybe a little glass of a whiskey or tequila. We can sip on that as you tell me about your passion. But that's me. That's my story. So I will check you guys out on the next episode of It's Not Just Coffee with Reese.